Alrighty. It's evening for me. It's just before 9 o'clock. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? So good morning, grand rising, good afternoon, good evening, whatever works for you when you click on this video. Thank you in advance for your viewership. I'm gonna keep this casual today. I didn't feel like setting up my workspace, and I've been sitting here listening to the official King Payne, and I wish I had seen him first because his live was way more informative than what I've seen anywhere else. And part of that is because, come to find out, he was on the phone with Jag and with Solar while all these things were happening. When I tell you this gets more and more bizarre, but as I listen to Solar speak and I listen to Gerald speak, it becomes more and more apparent what actually happened to me. Now, I know that from my standpoint, because of my gift, I see things differently anyway. Um, Gerald definitely confirmed that what I heard him say to her in the car was true, that she had had someone, hex her, put a cross on her, whatever, a hard cross at that. But I found it strange when I heard Solar speak. He didn't know anything about any witches. He was confused when that was brought up. Um, Official King Payne mentioned something to him about a jar, and he was like, "What jar? Like, what do you do with that? Like, wait a minute, like it." Oh, geez, excuse me. I'm a little flustered because not only do I feel like this is a three-ring circus and people playing in our face, but I'm seeing things that I felt like I couldn't discuss on camera with Jag's husband, and it's very sad. It's very disturbing, and I'm not going to go off into it because I think more things need to develop. But I will say this before I start pulling these cards, because I want to make this a little shorter. Um, if we think back to Anna Nicole, her son passed first and she passed, and then everybody had this huge war over the baby. And whoever got the baby got whatever money was left to this baby because the baby was the direct next of kin. And we're talking about over $80 million. I have no idea what Jag has, but the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I was very disappointed that Gerald would get Jaguar's son to come on the Sean Davy Way show for an interview. And it's obvious that her son, even though he can be bright in certain ways, he's mentally affected. I'll say that. So to me, that's like taking advantage of someone who is disabled. I didn't like that at all. I know Sean said, well, he's grown and he can speak. But him being grown in age does not constitute him being grown mentally when he's impaired. And you still have to respect the fact that he's impaired. So maybe that's just me being sensitive, but I didn't like that at all. And it made me, in a roundabout way, look at her husband from the same angle, because if something happens to Jag, because he's the direct next of kin, because he's her husband, her money, her royalties, everything goes between her husband and the son. But because the son has a disability, chances are it will go to her husband, and the husband would be taking care of the son. So we got to look at this from all angles. And like I said, that day and night network interview he did, where he was half-heartedly joking, and he's talking about some, yeah, when I get her out, I'm done. Yeah, ladies, I'm single. And I'm paraphrasing, but he mentioned that, ladies, I'm single. And even if it was a joke, it was an extreme poor taste, because look at what just happened. And this is your wife. Why are you advertising yourself as single? But then you come back the next day and it's like, my wife, my wife, my wife. So let me wrap this up, because this is the reason why I'm coming on here now. We're going to make this short and sweet. Bottom of the deck, Page of Swords. So this is intense energy on somebody being watched. This is intense energy on surveillance. Let's see. Working on, that's a working card, Eight of Pentacles. Knight of Wands. Working on coming in swiftly, fastly. Powers that be. Court system. Like I said, this was an inside job, guys. This was an inside job. This was a setup to get her in a vulnerable position. Yeah. Three of Cups. Oh my gosh. Three of Cups, Empress, Death. Okay. Third party energy, not just celebration. Empress, yes, the basic term for that would be, mother, fruitful, abundance. But when you think about someone who is fruitful and abundant, and they can create things and birth things and bring things to fruition, Death, coming to an end. This is like they wanted to get her so that they could stop her from launching this network. I really wish she had stayed, under the radar. Hence, off of social media while she built this network for a while, because somebody is trying very hard to keep her from building, what's the name of the company? Philadelphia. They don't want her to launch her content, whatever content it is. They're trying to keep her from launching her content. Ooh, hot potato. Come on now. Told you. They've been watching intensely. Watching intensely. She's been under surveillance for a while. And that card falls right next to the Hierophant, which is like, that's a powers that be card. Law enforcement. Somebody's been fixed and focused. And see, because she came back out and she was in social media, this card is appropriate, because this woman is a go-getter, but she also gravitates. That's not the way I wanted to say it. People gravitate to her. There we go. She garners attention. Lots of attention. This is a person that walks in a room and changes the whole temperature of the room. Everybody, all eyes on her. Right? So, yeah, they were concerned. The Hermit, they had to catch her by herself. Like I said before, there was a snake in the road, meaning as she was traveling, she ran into a snake in the road. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, hold on. So you got Six of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, Ten of Swords. I said in the last reading, hold on, let me make sure my claws don't keep y'all from seeing. Okay? I said it in the last reading. There's money on her head. There's a ticket on Jag. Okay? Six of Pentacles, unearned income. What's this? Ace of Pentacles? That's huge money. That's like hitting the lottery type money. Ten of Swords, to set someone up. This was orchestrated and people were paid. This was not what it appeared to be. This was not a normal, ratchet occurrence. Yeah, this woman that garnered attention, this focused woman. See that? The Moon and the Five of Pentacles. They secretly plotted to put her in a position to where she'd be out in the cold. They had to catch her by herself so that they could put her out in the cold. Give me a second. Excuse me, y'all. I'm short and this couch is not doing me right, okay? Uh-oh. Not scooted all the way back, and now I gotta scoot up because I can't reach. Oh, there we go. Okay, Wheel of Fortune. So they knew that she had something on her hands that was profitable. Something she's about to come into that's going to be very valuable or can become very valuable. Two of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Somebody was juggling with a decision. Yeah, very valuable to bring her happy times to an end. And they figured they would do this by causing him to walk away from her due to a secret back here, because moons always represent secrets. Okay, there's two sides of the moon. There's the side you see and the side you don't, and they just happen to be down in Louisiana under that Cajun moon, honey. And when I tell you, if you're talking about some magic, Louisiana is that place. All right, cards, don't go down there no more. Oh, geez, yeah. Two of Pentacles to the High Priestess. So this is somebody juggling with a decision in secret. But also, let's also recognize that High Priestess also represents someone who is of higher knowledge. Personally, someone who could be of higher knowledge that could be into magic as well. An actual High Priestess. I keep telling y'all, big money went into this. And when you put big money into things, things are orchestrated. And then they are planned and possibly replanned as needed. This was not a regular occurrence. There's big money involved in this, allegedly. This reading is for entertainment purposes only. I was supposed to be going to wash conditioner out my hair and have this whole regimen, but this was racking my brain. There's a few things that was said between Solar and Gerald, aka Goomba, that brought pause to me. And there's so many things that I know I won't be able to do it right now, but I think tomorrow when my energy is better, or just first thing in the morning when I start my day before I get off into doing anything. I think what I want to do is go over the official King Payne's live and take questions from the interview with him and Solar, and then questions with the interview with him and Gerald, uh, also known as Goomba, because there's so many things that need to be explained. Like, it wasn't said by anybody else that I've heard of outside of the official King Payne that Gerald was the one that was supposed to go to jail the day before. That blew me away. So apparently, he had put a gun to Jag's face, to her head, allegedly. This is what Solar said. He said he did it more than once on the same trip. And the police were called and they were supposed to take him. And then the next day, the police contacted Jag. This was before they had the melee at the barbershop. The police contacted Jag because they didn't have him and they didn't know where he was. So I'm starting to understand now why she was more so irate, because if somebody puts a weapon to your head multiple times, you're not going to want to see them. I don't care, husband, wife, whoever it is. You threaten this person's life. Nobody's going to be comfortable that way. Also, when she said, come outside and fight me now, first thing that came across my mind is, come outside and fight me now. It felt like she was eluding, and this is just me. It felt like she was eluding to the fact that he had tried to fight her before. It wasn't just a get outside and fight me right now, because I'm a huge advocate in women, keep your hands to yourself. Men, most definitely keep your hands to yourself. But that felt like she was saying that he had done this before and she wanted him to try it again. So let's try that one. Solar said that Goomba was physically violent towards Jaguar. Angels, ancestors, and spirit guides of the heavenly highest order. Is this true? Show me how Gerald, better known as Goomba, is towards Jaguar. Is he violent with Jaguar? Okay, she was walking away from this relationship. Bottom of the deck. She had kept this a secret. Oh, that's a new twist. Well, damn. Okay, so we got the Two of Cups, the Hangman, the Empress. We've got, what is this, Two of Wands peeking out back here. And once again, this Ace of Pentacles. So, this is like, damn. This is like Jag is chronically bad in love. She's bad at picking men. It's almost like she needs to hire a matchmaker to help her meet somebody better than the people that she trusts, because it's like something is off when it comes to how she chooses men. It feels like she chooses men that are projects that are fixable because she loves to help people, but she doesn't realize that in itself is a emotional disability. She has to figure out what it is about her that needs to keep fixing things. I understand nobody's perfect and everybody shows up with baggage and you just got to unpack with the right person, but you also have to be realistic about that baggage. And it seems like she just she just bad at picking. But yeah, to answer that question, it's looking like Solar is more honest about this situation than we like to think. um, I'm not ready to celebrate over his honesty because even he has his motives and whatnot, but I'm seeing more honesty from his side. Now, I'm going to ask this question and then I'm going to get ready to wrap this up so I can go ahead and figure out what I'm going to do with my hair because I got a lot of hair, y'all, and it takes forever to try to blow dry hair that's waist length. So, last question. Solar made a claim that when they were at the Chinese restaurant, now let me paraphrase this before I ask this question. Gerald said that there were witches in the Chinese restaurant and that they put a hex, a curse on Jaguar in the restaurant. And after that, everything went to hell. Now, here's the question. Solar said that he left the restaurant, meaning Gerald, her husband. He left the restaurant. He was outside in the car the majority of the time. Solar was actually the one, according to him, I believe he said he paid for the food and he was waiting for Jag. And he had waited for so long that he almost thought that like she had went out a back door or something had happened. And he had to tell her husband, like, well, damn, she's been in the restroom for a long time. Like, is she okay? Type thing. And they say she suffers from IBS. So, when she had to go, she had to go. And couldn't find out that's why she was in there so long. This is where the story gets contradictory. It is conflicting because Solar says that he didn't really notice anybody in there chanting, putting any weird energy on Jaguar. He said the people appeared to be happy and in like a celebratory energy. But the energy became off when Gerald would come in. And I know that feels long-winded, but I had to get it all out so that I could try to make some sense out of this, because this is a lot of twists and turns. What I'm getting at is this. If what Solar is saying is true, that Jack's husband was out in the car for pretty much, let's say 80% of the time they were at the Chinese restaurant, how would he have observed these witches? How did he know they were witches? How did he know they were doing incantations? And why wasn't he in protective mode to remove Jaguar from that Chinese restaurant? Angels and spirit guys, let's close this out. I don't know who the hell this damn Aquarius is. I know Aquarius represents the star, the focal point, the person who is the main attraction. But this card also represents contracts, negotiations, and agreements. And because that came out after this card, okay, I'm starting to feel like I understand why Gerald was outside this whole time. Gerald. There's some very interesting things going on with you, Gerald. And I'm going to wrap this up right here. Heavenly Father, angels, and ancestors, I thank you for helping me to tap into this energy, keeping me safe, putting a fiery hedge of protection around me and every last one of the people who are going to view this video. Put a fiery hedge of protection around Jaguar and keep her safe from all hurt, harm, and danger, even if that means you have to keep her safe from herself. And just help her to maintain and to get through this the best way possible. Whatever the lesson is that she's supposed to learn out of this, Heavenly Father, help her to have total full clarity and remove all blockage, all yoke, all mirror clay from her eyes, anything that keeps her from seeing and knowing the truth. And with that being said, honey, I'm going to go ahead and call this reading to an end because this energy is getting messier and messier and messier. And I never would have, well, I ain't gonna say I never would have thought, but it was highly unlikely for most to think that Solar is actually the more honest one out of the two. Go figure on that one, honey. So everybody have a wonderful evening. If it's the AM when you see this, Grand Rising, and this reading, this mini reading, it's adjourned.